No, that's one of the reasons why these guys also want to meet you.
Yeah.
We are kind of on the brink of changing the concept back to a more social organization, and not that heavy drinking
Yeah, tell her that because I have a little fibrillation of the heart and taking some medicine and so forth, and she is a little bit sensitive on
Gary doesn't even drink.
Understandably, I don't either.
For health reasons.
Oh, really?
I can't, and I do.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Well, Jan, my health has improved, so I'm drinking
not a
again.
heavy drinker, really.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I know you never were, yeah.
No.
It's all fine and great to have fun and be social and stories like the one you told.
Yeah.
But the heavy drinking and the obliteration.
Yeah.
Well, and it was out of hand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There was no question about it.
Right, and that came back from about 10 years ago. We had another of those periods. It depends on who comes in and who goes out.
And as Jack knows, I mean, it was his whole object was to get somebody really plastered. And then we steal the
Play
bell.
on words there.
Plaster.
Plaster.
But then we'd steal the bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had at that time the CAT people.
Stick it on the CIA plane.
They'd take it on the airplane.
What's that called? The rendition? What are they calling that these days?
Rendition.
We found very, very old minutes from meetings years and years ago. Yeah, financial reports, stuff like that.
Interesting. We had a lot of old Doc Johnson, many of the old pilots and all there. Anyway, these guys would take it on the airplane and leave it off in Tokyo. And send word back, here it is. And then these guys have to figure out how to get it. The pledges said they get it back. And they still have the same bell?
The second. And in fact, we just picked it up this morning. We polished it, redid all the names.
Is that right?
And
your
name is now,
Is that
so
right?
you have to be at least for one fire active again.
Yeah, no, I will.
Because the bell's for active members.
You talk to him when she comes in.
Well, my interest here, and we've had discussion about this deal, is like I said, fully appreciate the social club aspect of it. Have some fun and get people together. But there's also the side where we really want to represent something a little more constructive.
Yeah.
And you know what? The truth is when you've done something constructive, the social side of it actually becomes more fun because you feel that you've earned the right to have a bit of fun. And this has been missing from this little group.
Well, I'm a strong believer in that. I'm a strong believer. Happiness is helping others. Happiness is helping others.
You do that for 50 years already that you're here.
And I'll give you a DVD because I started a program called Helping Hands on this Typhoon Morakai. And, the devastation down there is unbelievable. I'm 6 foot tall. Can you imagine 9.5 feet of water came down in 48 hours? Just hard to believe. I told my brother in Kansas, 9.5 feet. He says, no, you mean 9 inches? I said,
No, feet.
9 feet. They just, nobody can believe.
With all the mud and stuff.
Well, I live here, it's hard to grasp.
Oh, yeah, me too. Anyway, I started this program and I worked with the American Club, and we got a lot of clothes and used clothes and everything else, and sent down. And with Asia Tigers, they took it down free. And then we sent 7 big truckloads, huge amount. And a lot of it's still in storage yet. And people say, why? But people have no homes. You can give them a couple of changes of clothes, but until they get a home, where are they going to put it?
Right.
And so I'm working with the Kaohsiung American School. This Dr. Farrell, super, super nice guy. And then the cash that we generate is for the kids to kids, for scholarships and anything these kids need up there in the mountains. And
you checking this?
Yeah.
And the great thing about these kids to kids, it's also good for the kids in Kaohsiung of giving. Shows that there's love in the world and so forth, and know how to give. Charity sometimes is learned too late in life. If you learn it earlier, it's good. So the kids program, and it's going very well. And we Robin Dale, who was here 50 years, well, his father was here when I came here 50 years ago. He was a missionary.
Oh, Robin, yeah, I know him.
Maybe you know him.
Yeah, he plays music.
That's right,
Yeah.
plays music. And Robin called me and says, Dale, anything you can do, you know, we just need lots of help. He lives in Pink Palm.
Yeah.
And so I said, let me see what we can do, you know. And at the same time, I got a call from a friend in Hong Kong who says, Dale, I got a bunch of clothes in the warehouse. He's in the textile business. Maybe you can use them. So that's how I put this Helping Hands together. And then we started collecting these clothes, and the cash goes all for the Kids to Kids. And now I've got the Australian Chamber. They're going to come in with a big amount of cash to help support the kids down there and so forth. And Robin, I says, he was kept up here, and I kept saying, do a song, do a song. So one day he got on the high speed, got a piece of paper out, and wrote a song called Helping Hands. And it's a beautiful song, and I'll give you each a DVD on it. And it's the kids of the Kaohsiung American School singing. It's the Robin singing, and it shows all the devastation and the buildings falling down and the broken bridges. And it's sort of nice, and we're selling these in the hotels now, in some of the hotels and so forth. It's a donation, 300 NT, 2 for 500 or 4 for 1,000. You know, just as a gimmick to get. Unfortunately, Rotary, I'm quite active with the Rotary, and the district governor electronics helped sponsor the DVD. I mean, even though it was donated, you still have to print the DVD
Right.
in studio. I mean, there's still fixed costs that you can't ignore. So we printed out a few thousand copies of it, and it's going well in Bengal.
That's what 50 years of a lot of friends can do. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Yeah.
And then I had them come up, and I'm having them come up for the SCAL. The SCAL is the International Hospitality Group of the airline, travel agency, and hotel people. And I'm having Robin come up on the 4th of December, along with a kid by the name of Lou Don. Lou Don is from the mountain area, and he's a polio victim. And I had him up for a Rotary thing, and he's coming up now to help me, because when I came here to Taiwan 50 years ago, there was a lot of polio. And I went to the hospital, at Venice Hospital, every Sunday afternoon for about 3 hours with these polio kids. We'd give them crutches and braces, and they didn't even have a vaccine at the time. So I'd say, bring your neighboring kids, bring your brothers and sisters. We'd give them a drop on a sugar cube, you know, to the vaccine. And I did this for 25 years with the Shrine, familiar with the Freemasons.
Yes.
You know. And I was in charge of the hospital program, and we helped a lot of kids. But fortunately now, polio is almost finished. Thanks to Rotary and Bill Gates, almost finished. This year they put up almost $600 million to eradicate it. It's only in 4 countries: Afghanistan, India, African, I think, and
I read about it the other day.
almost finished.
My mother had polio.
Yeah, and actually what then we did with our Shrine Club, we started with the burns 22 years ago. And we now have a childhood burn foundation here in Taiwan. And we are doing for burn children.